Hello, English language learners. Hope you're having a great day. We are here to look at some text and talk about some grammar. Not grammar in a traditional way where you just be like making sentences or focusing on a particular thing, but we're just going to look at a website, in this case, a blog, and we're just going to look at some parts of it and just analyze why they've used different pieces of grammar in that particular sentence or whatever it is. We want to try and look at the grammar in the context, with the point being that what I hope you can do afterwards is I want you to think, okay, what do I want to say? What is the time that I'm talking about? Is my story in the present or the future or the past? And then you go and practice. So we're not going to check every single thing. We're just going to look at different bits and pieces of this blog. Now, this is actually called. I'm going to zoom out a bit here. This is called My Korean Kitchen. And it seems to be quite a professional blog. It's a registered trademark. We can see there with the R in the circle there, and it seems to be a Korean recipe blog. So now let's first of all have a look here. Let me make this a bit bigger. Okay, so let's talk about this introduction here. And I guess one of the basic things we all need to be able to do in any language, not just English, is being able to introduce ourselves. In this case, it's a written introduction for people who are viewing the blog, but it's a good thing to be able to practice. And I would suggest it's always good to practice having a short and a long version of your introduction. So in this case, obviously, it's a brief introduction. So the person says, I'm Sue, the author, cook, photographer behind My Korean Kitchen. Here I talk about my love and passion for Korean food and Korean fusion food. Okay, so all of this is in present simple. It's all stuff that's true, factual, and still relevant today. So basically all present simple with this. So very nice. And we'll like this, a good brief introduction. And then here we have them talking about the blog. So about My Korean Kitchen. Let me zoom in there. Make that a bit better. There we go. Okay, so My Korean Kitchen is a food blog that talks about my love and passion for Korean food and fusion food. It includes step-by-step pictorial instructions, cultural discussions, and product reviews. So again, we can see here, this is just factual type of information talking about the general idea. So obviously, present simple. My Korean Kitchen is, and it includes step-by-step stuff. Now, okay, so that's all present simple. Now, I can just quickly see we have an ED here. We have a regular verb. So my husband suggested that I start some kind of food blog back in March 2006. So obviously we have the time stamp here of March 2006. That's obviously in the past. So naturally this is in the past as well. So past simple. Of course, this doesn't necessarily have to be in there. You don't have to necessarily specify the exact time, but of course, if you do, that means it has to be in the past, effectively. Okay, so my husband suggested that I start some kind of food blog back in March 2006. He often said, again, we're in the past, he often said he had some difficulty finding out about Korean food before he married me. Again, all of this in the past. So said, had, married. Back then, again, so we can say all of this is in the past. Back then, there weren't many Korean food blogs or websites. And I probably suppose back in 2006, well, I suppose it was sort of, it was sort of the second wave, if you like, of the early days of the internet. What am I talking about? Okay, so originally I aimed to help foreigners living in Korea to give them some tips on living and cooking there. Oh, okay, so cooking there. So it sounds as though she's not in Korea at the moment. There's the clue there. Let's see from that grammar because of the distance. But okay, so imagine you're telling your story. You go, okay, I want to talk about what I'm doing, why I'm here, and then I'm going to give some background to it. So you start with present to give the general overview, and then you use the past simple to talk about the story. And this has been all past simple in this second paragraph here. However, over time, I learned that most of my blog readers are actually from outside of Korea who want to learn Korean culture and its culture. Okay, so the learning was in the past, so we've got the past there, and here we use the want because we're describing those people in general. So who that audience is, the blog readers in this case. So my focus has naturally shifted. Okay, so here we've got a different structure here. Now we've got present perfect. So it has shifted. So with the idea that something's happened at some point in the past when that learning was done, so that information was learned. So my audience is outside of Korea, and there was a change, a shift, as she's mentioned here. So it's shifted, and you can still see that in the blog. That's the intention. Now, if you actually see that and recognize that, that's a different question. But certainly in terms of the information, the way it's transmitted, and this is what it's all about, is your choice of structure tells us about what you're trying to tell us. So you're saying this is still, you can still see the effect of what I learned, and that shift is still present in this case. So my focus has naturally shifted to give more relevant information to those people and share their pain when it's too difficult to find the source of Korean cooking ingredients. That's interesting. Now, that is a good question. Have you tried Korean food? I've only tried a few dishes, I think, in general. But Korean food is quite delicious. I can't remember the name. There's some dish where they have like multiple items, sort of separated, very very easy to take a photo, a beautiful photo with the way that the food is separated. And they have like an egg, a cooked egg with the beautiful yolk in the middle, I think, in general. That's a dish that I remember. And there's another one called bulgogi. And I think what's the common, I'm not sure if it's like an additive, what do you call it, or like a salad item. I'm not sure how it's referred to in terms of Korean food, but certainly the kimchi, I guess, is the very famous thing. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so here we've seen three different structures. So present simple when we're talking about the introduction or the factual overview of the blog in this case. Past simple when we're talking about the background and why it was started. And then present perfect when we're talking about something that's happened or changed in this case, that where you can still see the effect of that change or whatever the verb is. In this case, it's about a change, about a shift. Okay, so I mean, there's three different tenses. Now, remember, the point is not to keep watching videos over and over and over again. The point is for you to think, okay, so let me think about what would I want to say, and to go away and to try and actually practice writing some information about whatever you want to communicate, and think about maybe a story or a text that you want to write, or it could, of course, be something you want to say. So I would encourage you to go and try and think about the timings that you want to use. Maybe you do like a little timeline, think about when things happened, and is this something that is true and real for now, and like something that's sort of like a forever true or a constant true or a present true, or if it's something that's all in the past and you're telling the story, or if it's something that happened in the past but it's relevant up to today, but I'm not going to give a specific time. Remember, if you give a specific time, like what was it, back here in March 2006, then of course you have to sit in the past simple. And things like that. Now, just another thing. Okay, so here there's more of so okay, and going back to that point we mentioned before, so you can have a brief introduction about what you do, or who you are. So like here, and then you could also have like a more extended introduction describing who you are. So here we can see this person has given more of a elaborated introduction about them and their background and so on. So again, that's a good thing to practice. Another thing that I like about this sort of blog, and sometimes you see it on news sites as well, is that there is a space for comments. And I think it's always a good thing if you're thinking, where can I practice my English? If you don't always have as many avenues to speak with other people, is you can try it and find different sorts of websites where you can write comments and practice writing and engaging with people. Sometimes people interact, sometimes not. And of course, you have to be a bit careful sometimes, because sometimes people are just trying to troll and write negative comments and that sort of thing. But if you just look at it in isolation, a way for you to think about, what do I want to say, taking the time to type out what you want to say, and writing, it's a good thing. So you can see here, in this case, we have different people who have made some comments. So for example, this first one here, thank you for the obvious hard work you put into this blog. So present simple, we can, it's a true fact. That's a true fact, but a fact, someone's comment and idea. You have helped, again, present simple here. Sorry, present perfect here. You have helped so much, and I can't thank you enough. So here we got present perfect, because you have helped, because obviously through the time that the person's been reading the blog, and then up until now, so that the help has been continuous, if you like. I have made 3 to 4 of your recipes, and they all were great. So here we've got a mixture. So I have made, so counting from whenever the first viewed the blog or first started cooking from one of the recipes. So from that point up until now, it's 3 or 4 recipes that have been cooked, and they all were great. So now they've changed their perspective. Instead of thinking of that whole time from the past up until now they're just focusing strictly in the past and say they all were great. So again, that's a good way to practice, and you're changing your focus. You as the writer, or you as the speaker, the communicator, you choose where you want to shift, and you choose what you want to focus on, what's important for you in that sentence, what time you want to include. I will definitely be investing in your cookbooks as soon as I am able. So here we got the future as well. So this is a bit of a combination of all of the main structures. Of course, you don't have to use all of the structures. When you look at all of the verb tenses in English, you go, oh, wow, there's so many to learn and practice and use. But of course, realistically, there's only about 5 or 6 that are really, really common for, I don't know, 80 to 90% of communication that we do. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. I'll put a link to this blog in the description. But what I encourage you to do is to go away and try and speak, try and write, thinking about the times that you want to include. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments area. And don't forget to like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And I hope that we can be in touch soon. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.